Good morning. Namaskar. It's Kate with Garden Art this morning, yoga. Thank you for joining me. Today's a bit colder. Let's start with our meditation. And so we'll begin with the mantra Baba Nam, Kevalam, all is love, all is one. Baba Nam, Kevalam, Baba Nam, Kevalam. Baba Nam Kevalam, 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 Baba Nam Kevalam. Okay, sitting with our backs up straight, eyes closed if you're able, half lotus, which means one foot up, and if it's comfortable for you to sit in full lotus, then put the other leg up on top of the thigh, and we'll begin our morning meditation. So using the mantra Baba Nam Kevalam, which is Sanskrit for all is love, all is one. The word Baba means most beloved. So it's a term of endearment that can mean the feeling of, if you have a concept of a cosmic mind or a cosmic universal kind of God, then Baba is addressing that as father, grandmother, sister, brother. Many different cultures use the word Baba as a term of endearment for different family members. And if you have a concept of an inner higher power or inner sense of divinity, then Baba can be the most beloved aspect of oneself. Like a child, or Baba is also used for children in some cultures, or like my chérie, my love, as if we have an inner lover that's waiting inside to be discovered. And even our wisest and most beautiful self can be our Baba. So the word Baba is a term of endearment that connects oneself to that greater cosmic or inner self. Nam means name and Kevalam means only. So Baba Nam Kevalam is a mantra that can be used universally if already you have a faith and some form of guru or leader or God, then or Messiah, then Baba can be a term of endearment for that being or that teacher. And so when we sit with our eyes closed, first of all, we imagine that we're seated high up on a mountain. Family and friends are far, far below. We're all alone. And inside that space, you can feel a sphere, that you're seated at the center of a sphere of love that extends beyond the horizon, in front, behind, above, below. That everything within that sphere of love, of oneness, is infused with a sense of unity, of peace, joy. And feel that sphere growing beyond the horizon until it encompasses the entire globe. so that all hearts upon the planet are beating as one heart, all minds are thinking and feeling as one mind, all infused within that essence of the universal mantra, Baba Nam Kevalam. All is love, all is one. Continue that feeling of expansion through the solar system, encompassing all the planets, the moons, the stars, the sun. Baba Nam Kevalam. Noticing what is outside is also inside. The connection of the atoms, the molecules, amino acids, quarks, from a quantum physics level, the electrons, and the nuclei that all exist through every single particle of our being, the same as existing through space and time. Baba Nam Kevalam, all is love, all is one. Feeling that connection expand beyond our solar system, through the galaxies, to the furthermost reaches of the universe, encompassing all the nebula, the dark holes and matter, the thousands of permutations and combinations of spiraling, dancing, cosmic, vast systems through space and time, and noticing that what is external is also internal. Baba Nam Kevalam. All is love, all is one. And allowing oneself, focusing on the breath, noticing every aspect of our inner being. To the tiniest manifestation, time or space that exists in the form of quarks, muons, tiny, tiny quantum particles that make up our bodies and infuse the very essence of self with the same mantra, Baba Nam Kevalam. Feeling all is love, all is one, until the thought arises, I am just like a droplet in a vast ocean of love and light. Feel yourself merge and dissolve into that ocean of oneness, that ocean of peace and love. Baba Nam Kevalam. All is love, all is one. And let's finish our meditation. Hmm. Quiet place deep inside of me. Feel the love all around me. I've never been alone since I've known there's a place where I can go where love is all around. Since I found how to hear that sweetest sound. Baba Nam, Baba Nam Kevala. Love is everywhere, love is everyone. Okay, thank you for joining me for meditation. And now we'll go on into our yoga. Yesterday we did some yoga and some painting together. That's this one. For me, I started working on this, the seed, and it's becoming a cosmic seed now. I brought my colors along because I think there's still a bit more to do on it. But first of all, let's begin with our yoga. And again, we're connecting our yoga, our inner thinking to our art. And just noticing the feelings, the emotions that are arising and how they place inside our body, then how we see or visualize those emotions as a metaphor or an example of who we are at this present time. The reason for doing that is that as we do more and more subjective to objective, taking the inner feeling and then creating that into an objective point of view, something that we can look at, analyze, talk about, and start to see, oh, okay, my mind is working in this way. For me at the moment, my mind's working very much like the plants. I think that's because the sense of lockdown has given me the feeling of being anchored in one space. And while I've been in that anchored place, it's like just like a plant can't get up and wander around the garden. I too have been held, if you like, inside the container of this particular home with these particular people and with my parents. And during that experience, it's given a sense of, well, how do I blossom? How do I grow? And then eventually, how do I form the seeds for the next adventure that's just around the corner? So my next adventure will be reconnecting with my husband, going back to my workplace, reconvening around that job and taking with me this new aspect of work that's come up for me, which is the art yoga therapy. So each one of us will be on our own journey at the moment. Let's start with our breathing, putting our hands behind our back. I have a sugar ant who likes to visit me every morning. Yep, hello. So we're putting our arms behind our back. We're catching the left wrist with the right arm, breathing in. And again, noticing the breath. So the breath is connecting us to our emotions. And you'll notice that when you are getting emotional, or with children, if different overwhelms are occurring, the first thing we'll say is just breathe. Because our breathing changes as we go through different experiences of grief or anger, of shame and fear. When we're frightened, often we hold our breath. When we're angry, can hold the breath, but also can quite often start to feel that we're breathing more quickly. And then in order to regulate that, we catch the breath as a way to stop ourselves from exploding, so to speak. Sadness, often the breath gets kind of wobbly, like our chin starts going wobbly, and then we'll begin to gulp our breath, particularly with very overwhelming grief, more than just sadness. And if it's, the kind of sadness that impacts the heart and causes that pain that allows us to cry out in pain, then the breath goes with the sound. So the sound of wailing that is also another orchestration of our breath. So today we're going to notice our feelings with our breath. Breathing in with the arms behind the back. Notice the feeling and the thinking as we're breathing in and breathing out, stretching forward over the legs. And exhale fully and into that position. This is Yoga Mudra. And I've been referring to this as the seeding position. The place from which all potential comes. Notice that extension right through the spine. From the base of the neck right down to the base of the tailbone, the base of the spine itself. And all the vertebrae in between. Breathe in, coming up. So allow yourself to be activating the spine as you go through this particular posture. And feel the strength of the backbone as it flexes, bends, and then straightens. Exhale fully. 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in, coming up. And breathing out. Exhale, forward, down, and hold. Breathe in. And breathing out. Exhale, forward, down, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale. And again, exhale, forward, down, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathing in. Swapping the legs over so we get a different extension through the leg. And breathing out, forward, down, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathing in, feeling that oneness, that connection. And breathing out, forward, down, and hold. 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Breathing in, coming up. And I'm going to go straight away into the opposite extension of the spine, which is to go down into Cobra. So in this position, we've been extending the spine over and down. And then in Cobra, we're extending the spine and we're curling up. So coming around onto your tummy on the mat, palms underneath the shoulders. Exhale fully. And this time we're lifting up. So if you like, we're compacting the spinal column. Try to get a nice long extension of neck and shoulders and head as we come up. If the greatest level you can come is up onto the elbows and looking back, eyes towards the top of the head. If you're able, then lifting right up onto the arms and down. Okay, so we'll do this together. Exhale. Again, keep that focus from the back of the neck right down through the spine into the base of the tailbone. And just feel that connection between self and that, and the spine. Breathing in, coming up. Notice your thinking and looking right to the top of the head. Hold for 8 counts. Exhale, forward and down. Breathing in, coming up and hold. Exhale, forward, down. Breathing in, up and hold. Exhale. Breathing in, hold. Exhale. Breathing in, hold. Exhale, forward and down. And breathe in. Hold. Exhale. And we're going to grab our ankles just to further arch the spine. So catching the ankles and lifting up onto the belly. Hold. Coming down. Lifting up and hold. Exhale, forward down. And breathing in. Come up and hold. And coming down. Into the side, relax the body onto the mat. And again, feel that energy through the backbone. Breathing deeply, light, warmth and love through the backbone. Coming up onto the knees, we'll do again the hare posture. Long stretch forward. Coming up, I think I'll take this jacket off now. And so what we'll be doing is putting the crown of our head onto the floor. This stimulates the pineal and pituitary glands. And again, we're extending the spine and putting a lot of pressure on the front of the body, the thymus, the thyroid, etc. So coming up onto your feet in the prayer position, sitting on the heel, and we'll be holding onto the heels as we breathe in and breathing out, coming forward, down, head down onto the mat, and then we'll lift our buttocks up off the heels. This particular posture is connecting me for the moment. I want to do some work on this one, which is my seed painting. And what I noticed yesterday is from amongst these three, this is a triptych that I've got going here. Amongst these three, this one is the one that's most connected to a sense of space or timelessness on that side. I wasn't aware until I painted it and got up this morning, had a look at it. So I want to accentuate that feeling of the connection of this vast seed that's holding potential inside of space. Now, it reminds me, I've heard of the nurseries in the universe. The nurseries for stars and planets are called nebula. And so tiny new stars are forming inside all the time. And they're like suns, you know, they're attracting a whole lot of energy into themselves and then begin fusing that in some nuclear way until they explode into brightness and become a sun. And from that, depending on their size and the weight and so on, different cosmic bodies either get drawn in and start a spin, which can help matter to collect and eventually build up vast planets, or in some cases, the particles that get thrown out from those vast suns solidify as they leave. And I think that's how our Earth was formed. We are a tiny piece of the sun. So I'm looking at, prior to all of that, expansion and reproduction just be at the beginning, as the nebula start to hold the very seeds of new universes inside of themselves. And also inside myself, as I go through this whole process of connecting in a new way, particularly during lockdown. I think we've all been through a kind of a seeding process where instead of being out in the world doing what we normally do, we've had to go inwards into an internal space and then find who we are when we're in a limited capacity, rather than usually we're trying to be our most expanded self. That's the way that our economy works, is to get out there. Get out there and do, be, sell, whatever. And in this case, we've been in a space of lockdown and trying to attract back in towards us what we need. The help and support, the connection and love. So it's a much more internal process. And inside of that, waking up the very best part of ourselves, inside ourselves. So basically coming to love and appreciate each one, what we are and what our potential is. So it's been a great time for rejuvenating and reconnecting. So let's do the Shashangasana. And then if you have got with you your sketch pads, your canvases, or anything that you've been working on, we'll stop, we'll pause after we do Shashangasana, just taking the time again to connect the mind into the emotions, and then we'll have some time of processing that on to canvases or sketchbooks. Okay, sitting up on our toes. And also thank you to those people who private messaged me and sent me images of your work. Yes, I do analyze work. I can talk with you about your work, your paintings, and that's part of the service that I do when we start doing art therapy or yoga art therapy together. Okay, breathing in, hands on your heels, and breathing out, coming down, lifting the tailbone up and hold for 8 counts. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in and coming up. And breathing out, forward, down, hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathing in and coming up. Breathing out, forward, down, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathing in and breathing out. Exhale and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathing in, coming up. And breathing out. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathing in, and we'll do our last one. Breathing out, forward, down, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathing in and coming up. So we'll take a moment now to have a look at our artwork. I'm going to bring mine around this side a bit. What hand do I draw with here? Pop it over here. And have a look if there's anything that you want to add or change with what you've been working on. And the way to do that for me is to moment to go inside into that inner space, and then look at the art and think, well, if I were in this picture, where would I sit most I want to be? And in my case, the place where I'd like to be is to be sheltered inside that golden orb that's holding everything inside itself. So I'd want to start to snuggle into that space. And I think because I've got that feeling, what I want is to make it very still around it. So my sense is to start to work with black and deepen everything that's surrounding and just bring that golden space out. So I'm going to do that for a few minutes with crayon. I'm going to add some crayon on top of the paint and just start to feel what that's like as I deepen this I'll just show you what it's like. So this one's, it's an image of a seed that's holding space. And I want to get everything that's around it deeper and more quiet, so that really only this space exists in the end. Even though there's a tremendous amount of energy holding and radiating out of what I think is the way a seed works, I also want to have that sense of absolute stillness, that when we're in seed form, there may be a lot of things happening around us, but we just sit in that quiet space. And that is a little bit like some of our yoga exercises. When we're doing our yoga and we hold with the breath, hold the posture for up to 8 counts, and there's no breathing, there's nothing happening. It's like, okay, so just for this moment, who am I while I'm in this very tight held space? Okay, so, and I am using this time now with the classes just to get a sense of running these art classes with the yoga together with you, and it's a way to start the process, if you like, of the next phase of my work online. La, 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 la. So we'll talk a little bit spiritually while I'm doing this, huh? Philosophically speaking, or even to talk from experience right now. Yeah, right at the moment I'm going through a time of building the next phase to the work that my husband and I do. We run little mini retreats for yoga, meditation, and detox, and we've been doing that for a number of years now from our home, and we introduce people to tree change experiences, what it's like to live in nature, and so on. We're living in the rainforest in Maleny, and while we've been apart, we haven't seen each other for quite some months. And during that time of being apart, I've been building up the next phase of the business, which will be online. And because essentially the business is spiritual, it's brought up lots of questions about the role of finances inside my work. Traditionally, if we're doing spiritual work, and my husband and I used to be a monk and nun, so we're used to doing work for free, so to speak, or to be of service to be of service. And and yet that's not sustainable. So to bring ourselves to a place of sustainability, we've had to learn to transfer our service work into paid work, and that's taken a lot of inner processing, actually, because money holds value, and so then it becomes a value statement. You know, when we do things for free, it doesn't matter if it has value or not. People find value themselves. As soon as we put a figure onto it, then the question comes up: oh, am I worth it? Is this service worth it? And so on. So there's been a lot of questioning around self-worth, around value, around making offerings, and also around the other side, traditionally also for people who are in the spiritual game, so to speak, there's a concept that money is evil. So to work through that has been a really big job. And I think this time of sitting with all of these emotions and processing has been my seeding time. And that was one of the reasons why I did this seed totally in gold, because it represents for me the sense of value and worth, and trying to reconcile my own sense of self with monetary value, what that means and how it feels. And it's been quite an adventure, really, quite a big part of self-discovery has been doing this, looking at my own dogmatic thoughts, my prejudices against people who are wealthy, my value systems on what capitalism looks like. Like, there's been quite a bit going on. And now coming to the, feels like reaching a conclusion inside of that space. Well, who am I inside of earning, and who am I inside of creating a business that I feel has value? Yeah, a lot of these questions have also coming to their conclusion. And so having the space to be able to draw that out. I love these words. We can draw something out. So having the space where we're quiet with our art, and we're able to start to draw it out. And what happens when I'm doing art therapy with somebody is, after having the time of sitting and painting or drawing, then we take time together to look at what the picture's telling us. And I'm able to listen to you and hear what you've got to say about your work, and listen to how that feels for each one of you, and then start to get a sense of, well, where are you at the moment, and where do you want to be? So it's a tremendous tool if you're in the time of transition and not knowing how to go through that transition. Drawing something out can be very, very powerful. And I've worked with different people in all different stages of healing, women who have had breast cancer and trying to reconcile with a new body image and form, people in lockdown who have been feeling that their whole life is changing, teenagers with the big question of who am I, same with female entrepreneurs trying to find their new, leave their jobs and start to work to make their own businesses. There's a lot of inner questioning that arises. So drawing it out and bringing it into a space where it can be seen and talked about is very, very helpful. And I like to, during these classes, like to encourage everybody to have a go at doing this. And of course, those of you who want to work one-on-one, you just message me at this stage, and we fix up a time to Zoom together, and I can work with you on your artwork. For some of you, it'll mean just, one session can be, goodness, I've seen people realize their next step just from one session of sitting with artwork. It can take a couple of hours, and yet it's very, very productive. And certainly over weekends when we do retreats. So coming back, starting, and by the end having 3 or 4 pieces, and looking at, like I've done here, looking at a triptych of work and seeing where that movement's happened. That's fantastic, especially if you're doing a detox at the same time. So detoxing and combining that with art therapy is very, very powerful. And with yoga class and meditation and so on, can bring tremendous self-awareness and change, because the spiritual practices accelerate the inner change. And as we detox, we bring a lot of stuff emotionally to the foreground as well, and release, let it go. So that's a very transformative experience as well. And as I'm doing now, just using art in combination with yoga and meditation, and being aware each day of, okay, things are changing and moving, and how can I best express that? It's very powerful also, and a little bit more gentle. than a full-on detox. Yeah, so there's very many ways to use the art of drawing it out. There's many ways of using these skills. Okay, so I've started the first part of just deepening that area around the seed, and that pushes that turquoise color back quite a bit. And I will do the same in the top corner. Before we go on with that, let's do a little bit more yoga, huh? And I think what I'd like to do is a full stretch. So we'll do salute to the sun. Everybody, if you're ready, popping down your art equipment. Let's do Surya Namaskar. And we'll start with our Namaskar, which is to greet the day. And breathing in, arms back, looking up and forward. Nice long stretch, dropping down. My hands can go back, but if you've got that loose back, that looseness in the hips, that your head's dropping down, hands can go back behind the feet. Or if you're in this space that I'm in, of cradling, just cradle the head. Allow the weight of your arms to drop your head towards the floor. You can soften the knees a little here. All knees can be straight. And then arms down, we're going to drop. In my case, I'll put the right leg back into a lunge. With the toes still engaged, just drop that hip forward, then knee down, hands up on the front knee, and again, that full extension through the hips and arms up, stretching back, looking at the sky. Breathing in and arms down, engaging the foot into plank, holding. And then we're going to, engaging the toes, push back in, lift the buttocks up, and then draw right against the knees, pull the body through and up. And then engaging the toes, long extension, push back into the feet. And the same leg that went back now comes forward through between the feet. Grab it if my extension's so long I can't pull it through. Grab that foot right up between the hands and then drop the other knee, hands on that front knee and right back stretch. Arms down, foot coming through, drop the head, cradling. Long arms, long back, up and stretch back. And namaskar. Let's do that again with the other leg. Back. Long. Stretch forward. And other leg right back. Drop the knee down. Hands on the front leg. And arms up over the head, stretching back. And arms down. Engage the back foot, both feet together. Hold in plank. And pushing back. In, buttocks raised into the knees. Forward, down and up. Engaging the toes, lifting up and down. Bring this leg forward, long lunge, drop the knee down and arms up. Hands down, both feet together, long extension, and up and back. Okay, namaskar. I want to do 2 more positions with you. One will be Dirga Pranam and the other one. Let's do our Gyan Asana. Gyan Asana is quite difficult because you've got to balance. So we'll see how we go. Usually I have a wall behind me. It makes it a bit easier. Knees on the ground. We're going to put one leg onto this thigh. This is a really good one for changing how we think. So put one foot on the thigh where you've got your other heel balancing your buttocks, and then come up onto that heel. Hands behind, hands next to the body, and find that space of balance on the heel. Then lifting, keeping the same arm as leg on the ground, lifting the opposite arm up. Oops. Find that balance point. Oh, it might not be. I'm on a very, very soft mat this morning. Finding that balance point and lifting the arm up, holding. And arm down. Dropping the knees down, bringing the foot off. Do the same on the other side. So this one, of course, creates balance in the mind. The way that I'm able to hold it is I think with my head and my arm that they're the anchor point. And that if the knees and hips, and especially the ankle, if it's not very strong, you're going to find it wobbles a bit. If that's wobbling still, the top of my body is staying very still. So it feels a bit like if you've ever seen a boat, the sail of a boat, it'll have a point of balance somewhere halfway up the mast. And the boat will be moving on the water like this, but that particular point stays very still. So Gyan Asana feels a bit like that. It means to find the balance point inside the head. And no matter what the body's doing to try to adjust itself, the head stays still. So it creates a sense of strong determination. And also because we're changing the way our body balances, it creates a new way of thinking in the mind. So it's called Gyan Asana. And the idea behind it is that it gives us it's a good asana or a good posture to create new ways of seeing and valuing. It's a little bit hard on my left leg, but that's okay. So hands are right next to the side of the body. And if that's as far as you can take it, that's also okay. Find that place of balance just with the hands next to. And then if you are able and ready, find that stillness inside yourself. Find that space of anchoring the head in space. Oops. And lifting the arm up. I've got a bit of distraction going on around me. The dog's just come out. No, it's fine. No, don't shut the gate. No, Mum, I've got it. I need it open. Thank you. Mum, I'm in the class, love, please. Thank you. I'm sorry, everybody. That wasn't very helpful while I'm trying to balance. Oh, okay, holding now. Sorry, can't do it today. We'll come back to that position. Oh, dear. That's okay. So if you can do that with something close to you, like you can do it against a wall also. And even though the wall doesn't necessarily hold us up, it just has that sense of holding the back steady and strong. I think I'll do it again now that Mum's gone. She just let the dog out and we're wondering if the dog's going to come through. So what foot was I up to? I was on this one. Let's do that one more time. Sitting forward. Yeah, it does take a bit of concentration. Leg up, rolling back, and find that space of balance. And lift. Oh, that's better. I'm not able to do it for very long today. Okay, and we'll finish with Dirga Pranam. It's always good to challenge oneself with our yoga exercises. Breathing in, arms up over the head, and breathing out. Exhale, forward, down, and hold. So this position, I like to imagine that in my hands, I'm holding a bouquet of flowers, and they're all the colors of my mind. Breathing in, come up, and breathing out. Exhale, forward, down, and hold. Breathe in and breathe out. Forward, down, hold. Breathe in and breathe out. Hold. And exhale, forward, down, and release and hold. Breathe in and out. Hold. Breathe in and forward, down, hold. Breathe in and up and arms down. Okay, thank you for joining me today for this session of our Yoga Garden Art. I'm Kate. If I can do it, we can do it. Let us get healthy and wealthy together. Namaskar. I will see you again tomorrow at the same time, and we'll spend an hour or so together. I think I'm going to start a new canvas tomorrow. So come again along together. Bring some art equipment with yourself, and we'll have a look at what it means to work on a blank slate and how to begin. Namaskar, and thank you for joining me.